Okay, it's August 13th, 2025, and I wasn't going to do a video about this, but since I'm here, I'll do a bit of one. It's not exactly scenic, but I'm on Interstate 76, heading up from Denver, Colorado, up to I-80, which crosses through the state of Nebraska, and then I'll be continuing up past Omaha and across Iowa and Illinois and back home. I was out in Denver visiting relatives, and I've done a similar trip before a couple years ago, and I have I think it's a 5-part video on driving through the Rocky Mountains that came from that trip. On this trip, instead of flying back home, I'm driving back home, as is obvious from this. And I had picked up a couple of items that were inherited by a relative of mine, and it was agreed that I could take it and use it, so I'm bringing it back home. It's in the form of an old antique metal lathe, so I look forward to getting familiar with that, you know, in the future, making use of it, hopefully. But right now, I just thought that it would be worthwhile to do a bit of video just on this kind of neglected part of the country. So once again, eastbound on I-76, and off to the left is the Platte River Valley. In the far distance, it's not going to show up on the video very well, but in the far distance, right at the horizon, it's hilly there. That's bluffs and so on the far side of the river. Just where I am, there's a lot of crops. There's fields of corn and so on out here. It's definitely agricultural, but it is one boring drive. Maybe not as boring as driving through Montana or North Dakota, but still pretty boring. The road is straight most of the time, little in the way of variation. At least I can just put it on cruise and let it go. Listen to my audio book. And here's a circular crop, irrigated, of corn. This area does have a lot of circular crop fields. I think there isn't enough natural rain here for the crops to thrive very well by and large without irrigation. And so when they irrigate it, the crops tend to be circular a lot of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time. And there's a field up here. Again, it probably won't show up very much. I can try zooming in a little bit. It may be apparent that the tracks made by the irrigation equipment are circular. So that's a circular field, and there the edge of it's curving around. There's a lot more of these as you get closer to Denver, where a huge area east of Denver is seemingly nothing but large circular fields. It's pretty in its own way out here, but really nothing much to break up the scenery. I do plan tomorrow, I'm making a 3-day trip out of this, and tomorrow I expect to be stopping at the Strategic Air Command Aviation Museum that's in Ashland, Nebraska. I don't have a video of that from before, so I thought it was high time that I made one. But it has been a long time since I've been in this part of the country. And it's right now over 100 degrees outside here and very windy. Although the wind is mostly coming from behind me, so it's not creating huge gusts that push me around on the road very much. But when I filled up at the gas station a little ways back, it was blowing so hard it took a concerted effort to walk from the car into the gas station building without swaying, and it just felt like an oven. So yeah, Nebraska in summer. Some strong crosswinds. We're approaching Julesburg, Nebraska, and that's where we should be intersecting with Interstate 80. I'm not sure if I-76 ends at that point or if it merges with 80 for a while, but it certainly will be on 80. There's actually a couple of bodies of water over there. The nearest one, where all those trees are, fairly close to us. I don't think it's a river, I think it's more of a creek. I'm not sure the name, although I did see a sign that mentioned Lodgepole Creek. I don't know if that's a place or the name of the river or stream or whatever, but when you're in this kind of terrain and you've got a group of sudden rich foliage going in a line, that means there's some sort of a flowing body of water there, but it's not the Platte River. That's just a little ways further out there. I suspect they flow together up here somewhere, but I don't know that. just about at the point where we're crossing from Colorado into Nebraska. And I think I said that was Nebraska earlier. I'm not sure which side of the border it's on off the top of my head. Yeah, it turns out that Julesburg is just inside Colorado at the Colorado-Nebraska border.
In 5 miles, use the left 2 lanes to take the exit toward I-80 East.
And according to my GPS, we're just now at the northeastern corner of Colorado and about to cross over. Very quickly. Here's the state line, leaving Colorado, entering Nebraska.
Welcome to Nebraska.
Now, I've been told that it's a fairly scenic trip through Nebraska anyway.
In 2 miles, use the left 2 lanes to take the exit toward I-80 East.
In that the terrain is varied enough along the Platte River, in the Platte River Valley, to make it more interesting than what you would expect otherwise. So here's the merger between I-76 and...
Use the left 2 lanes to take the exit toward I-80 East.
Yeah, this is where I-76 ends, right here. And now we're on I-80, or at least merging with it up just ahead here. In Illinois, I-80 is an ugly highway, just full of semis and very busy, and I call it the go dog go syndrome driving. You can't relax at all. I'm hoping out here that I-80 is a more peaceful drive. other group of trees that we've been seeing sneaking up on us from the distance is now coming up close, and the ground does seem to rise beyond that and off to our right, which is south. The ground gradually rises in that direction too. So without knowing the geography of this area very well, I'm assuming that that means we're in the shallow Platte River Valley or basin or whatever it's called, and that this set of trees here is probably indicating either where the Platte River is or some other tributary stream. According to my map, we're getting pretty close to the river. I'm not sure we'll actually see the river. Maybe just some trees. Lots of nice corn off that way, as far as the eye can see. Christmas tree farm. Yeah, I'm pretty confident all those trees on the left there are there because of the Platte River. Although it's not just like a narrow band of trees that you'd have for a little stream. When I can get a glimpse of it, it goes on for, you know, probably like a mile or two, it looks like. And this is just the edge of it. The actual river is probably a mile off to our left, or half a mile or something like that. Anyway. And somewhere through here, the Amtrak California Zephyr goes too, I believe. I thought that it more or less hugged the Platte River for most of its crossing of Nebraska. So it's probably around here somewhere. Big cattle processing facility there. It's where they would be brought in before taking them away to slaughter them. I believe that's the type of facility.